Hello everyone, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the June make-along. We're going to create 2 cards in this live. Both of them are going to be featuring the June card kit of the month, but the second card will actually also feature the June fancy die of the month. And at the end of the live, I will share with you a sneak peek of the release that's coming tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll release a whole new kit and a whole new Hero Studio release. So I'm really excited to show you that. I always get excited to give you guys a sneak peek. Hello everyone. Hello Cheryl. Hello Jan. Rihanna? I hope I said that right. I'm so terrible with names. You'd think somebody with a unique spelling would be better, but I'm really bad. Lots of people from Arizona. Yay. Hello. I'm in Arizona too. I'm in Mesa. This is basically Phoenix. And it's hot today, 101. But I didn't ask if it was going to rain today. And it said it had like a 50% chance. So are we going to have like some stormy weather this afternoon? Maybe. We're getting monsoon season. All right. I'm going to change our picture here. Pop that. And switch that around. Hello, Catherine. Hello, Lori. Welcome, welcome. Oh, you're in Prescott. I was just there last weekend in Prescott for the Bluegrass Festival. I love that festival. We were just there and it was so wonderful. The weather was so amazing. I practically cried when we had to drive back down to the valley. Tucson, yes, Tucson's warm, Karen. My daughters are going to go to Tucson tomorrow. They're going to go to the Arizona Desert Museum. Great museum. I think I said that right. Storms in North Carolina. Wow. Oh, you need it? Well, good. I'm glad that you're getting what you need. Hello, Barbara. Okay, so we're creating 2 cards today, so I don't want to spend too much time talking because I do want to get into it because they're not time consuming, but there's a lot of steps. There's a lot of steps to them. They're not overly intensive, but they are a lot of steps. We're going to start with this card here. This is the main card. This one features everything that's used on this card was in the June kit of the month. Oh, Cheryl, I want to retire to Prescott. I want to go down there. I'm trying to get my husband to be able to come down there, but he works for Trader Joe's and there are no openings in the Prescott Trader Joe's. So we are out of luck for a while anyways. All right, I'm gonna move my mouse out of the way. So this is the one we're gonna start with. And again, it features everything in the June kit of the month. And the first thing you're gonna start is with, oh, okay, for a different reason. So they weren't there for the Bluegrass Festival. I love the Bluegrass. I love folk music. And the Bluegrass Festival, the one that I have in Prescott, is completely free. So what we do is we go down, we stay there for both days of it. We camp out, we camp out the whole time, and we play games. We play board games, my family. So we play a lot of board. That's what we do is we play board games when we're there. All right, so I'm gonna start by grabbing this Urban, I think it's called Urban Heroescapes stamp set that was included in the June kit. And we're going to be stamping these 2 sky pieces, starting with the more solid one. And you're going to need, oh, I like to use my Misty. It's foolproof, which I need. So there's a way to mess something up. I can do it. And we're going to stamp right onto our card base. So I'm going to pop this into my Misty here. I'm actually going to be a little risky. I don't normally like to do this, but I want to make sure I go from end to end. So I'm going to leave a little gap here. I don't like doing it because if it does shift on me, I'm out of luck. Because I can't really line it up again. Well, I'm going to go for it. If you don't want to take that risk, what you can do is just have it stamped, load your paper into that corner like you normally would. Hello, welcome. Southern California, you've got good weather. At least not so quite as hot as here. I know you can get hot there too. And then we're going to grab, and then when you position this, you might not get all the way to the edge. Just trim that little bit off. It'll maybe be like 1/8 1/16, not much. So you can just trim that off. All right, and we're gonna line this up. You know, I'm just gonna do it in the corner. I'm just gonna be safe. I'll be safe. I won't be taking any risks. All right, and I do want to make sure I go a little bit off the top because I do want to stamp at least past the top. That's pretty easy to do. I might have to trim this a tiny bit, but no one will notice. No one's gonna know. All right, finally got that in place. Oh, see, Karen, we are getting rainstorms, right? Sticky mats are great for that. They are. You know what, Laura? I have one. Why didn't I think of that? Got one in here. Let's see, do I have a fresh one? Let's try a sticky mat. We'll try that. Ooh, see how sticky those stamps are? I'm gonna use this. I don't actually like stamping on the grip mat. I don't really like that, but I'll try this sticky mat from My Sweet Petunia. I think we can put it in here like this, right? All right, hopefully it's enough stick to hold it in place. Please don't shift on me. Probably would help if I got it into the cord, at least down at the bottom. Ooh, it's, whoa, okay, wowzers. That is serious stick. Okay, I'm feeling good about this. This could work. I always forget about some of the amazing tools I have sometimes that I just, you know, get stuck in my ways. Like, this is how I do it. Okay. There we go. Now the only thing I got to make sure is that this piece is always in the corner. That's the thing, because it looks like my cardstock's going to stick nicely. All right, now the easier part. We are going to use, or I'm going to use, this ombre ink pad. This is the I believe it's actually called what color it is, and I forgot. I do have it written down somewhere, but I'll have to open that up. We do have the instructions. We always have the instructions for these make-alongs up on our blog, and we try to have them go out Thursday, so that gives you enough time to kind of gather your supplies and plan ahead. And this one is the Ombre Tide Pool to Navy. That's what it's called specifically. Okay. I love these. This is the light color here, even though I put it away wrong. That's the light color. I want my light to be down at the bottom and darker towards the top. And the trick with the ombre ink pads is you do want to do a little shimmy. So I'm going to ink it up and then shimmy up and then shimmy down. And I'll go over here, shimmy up and shimmy down a little bit. Okay, we'll see how we did. And it looks like I gotta move my magnet. And these are the easiest ways. I think these ombre ink pads are the absolute easiest way to stamp that. They're so good with these Heroscapes. They're just the easiest way to get a gradation, which adds so much like wow to your card, so much impact. I obviously have to stamp it a couple times. Just want to make sure I got that. There we go. But it's already looking so good. Hello, Shannon. Another Shannon. Spelt the more traditional way. I had someone once, a substitute teacher, pronounce my name Charmin. And then after Channing Tatum became famous, I get that a lot more. In fact, autocorrect will correct my name to Channing all the time. Okay, it's looking good. We're getting there. Happy Sunday, Lee. Crafty Toad, I love that name. All right, so I'm just going to be inking this up a couple more times. I think this might be my last time. I think the only trick with ombre ink pads is just be very mindful of how you're moving your ink pad over the stamp, which is, you know, if you don't use ombre ink pads a lot, you're gonna go like to your default setting, which is just, at least my default setting is a little bit crazy, and I'm just inking all over the place. So that's what that's the trick, I think, with ombre ink pads, just being very aware of where your colors are and how you're inking. I think we're almost there. There's just that one spot here that I got to ink up again, I think. But it looks so good. One more time. Just want to make sure I got enough on that top part. Oh yeah, and no problem, Lee. And there's a lot. Yay, look at all these Arizona people. This must be a good time for us Arizona people. I gotta maybe change the time. It's good for everybody else as well. Ooh, that looks good. Okay, I think we got it. Look at that. Wow, so dramatic. It looks so good. Lee, there's also a whole video on Hero Art's YouTube channel that I created where I really kind of did it like a deep dive on the ombre ink pads and show you a bunch of techniques with them. So I love them. They're so fun. And look at it stamped edge to edge. Wow, Sticky Matte, you really did a good job. Okay, I'm gonna give this a little clean. I'm using like rubbing alcohol to clean because my favorite cleaning product, which is Hero Art's Ultra Clean, is out of stock. And hopefully it'll come back soon because I love it so much. But right now I've got to resort to alcohol. But that does a pretty good job of getting that ink off of there. I mean, and look at how easy it was. I mean, I did have to stamp it multiple times, but I would have had to stamp it multiple times no matter what ink I use because it's very solid. And especially if I was going to do an ombre technique, I'd be stamping it multiple times as well. Which, if you don't have an ombre ink pad, which is the easiest way to make these gradations over your solid stamps, but if you don't, the next card, I will show you how to create a gradation with whatever inks you have, really. Individual inks, I should say. Okay, I'm going to leave this in here. And now I'm going to grab that stamp right here. This is the stamp for the clouds. Very easy to kind of line up. It really doesn't matter that much. That's the best part about it. But there's a couple spots like here where I'm looking for where those are like my guides. With every stamp, with any layering stamp, I'll find some areas that I can use as like guides. And for this, it's these parts in between the clouds here. I think that's good. Okay, we'll pick it up. This one, we're going to keep it real simple, and we're just inking up with mist. Down, shift. There we go. Wow, I'm super happy with that sticky mat. It did such a good job. Thank you for whoever suggested a sticky mat. All right. And, you know, back to inking haphazardly where I'm just inking up the whole stamp with that one color. Beautiful. All right, it's very light. I'm going to stamp it a couple times. But this is such a pretty color combo. I love, 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 love that Tide Pool Navy Ombre ink pad. I love it so much. It's great for sky here, but it's also good for water. So it's a really good one. Like if you're going to get ombre ink pad, get a blue one you like, and a green one. Because those are great for Heroscapes. You're definitely going to be using the green one for grass or trees or mountains even. It does look like a monsoon sky. It does. Just maybe needed to stamp the clouds in tans for the haboob. That was a word, by the way, we never used in Arizona until all of a sudden, like 10 years ago or 20 years ago, we started using that word. All right, 3 times. I think that's good. It's very subtle. I'll hold it to the camera so you can see. Just put that there. Peel this off. Very sticky, but definitely what you want it to be. Look at how beautiful that is. Oh my gosh, it's stamped perfect. Absolutely perfect. Oh, and I just remembered something I forgot to grab. I'll have to get up and get it. Well, that's for the next card. All right, thank you. Sticky Matte, you did a great job. All right, give this a quick clean. And I'll put that away. We are moving along splendidly. See how fast that is? Okay. So now, one thing I want to do real quick before I move any further is, to me right now, this white top is really bothering me. I don't know why. So I'm going to take my ombre ink pad, the navy here at the top, and just ink that up a little bit, soften that harsh. There. That's a lot better. Okay. And now we're going to do use the stencil. So there was a city. I apologize, mine's a mess, but I did a lot of like little test backgrounds, and I saved them because I could easily turn them into cards. I can't throw. And the real truth is, I can't throw anything away. All right, so we're going to grab this. We're going to be using the fallout pieces as well and the actual stencil, obviously. But we're going to be using the large buildings and the small buildings here. And I'm going to get my grip mat for this. Could use my sticky mat, but I'm going to use my grip mat. All right, and we'll grab this. Let's see if I'm doing it the right way. And I'm going to have it just touch those. I'm overlapping a little bit of the clouds here on one side. Oh, I'm glad it's sunny for you, Cindy. That's awesome. We are definitely sunny, but that's the norm. And I realize now that I forgot, I'm going to grab 2 things. I forgot my blending tool for that and vellum for later. So I'm going to get up. If I'm going to get up, I'm going to get up and get both at once. Let's get that out. So you're going to need Granite ink. All right, got my vellum too. So I hopefully don't have to get up again. And I lost my ice pack. It's so hot here. And maybe the solution would be just to turn my air conditioning up higher, but I'm not a quitter. But I have to have like an ice pack in my lap just to help me stay cool. And if I have 2 ice packs under my computer when I do this live. So you might every once in a while hear like a popping sound because that's the ice melting a little bit. All right, and you know, I'm a little bit worried about being sloppy, so I'm going to put a piece of tape up here. Oh yeah, you could. I think you could use your jelly mats. This is actually from Waffle Flower Crafts. It's their grip mat. But I know a lot of people also use Altenews stamp wheel, that sticky mat inside there. They'll use that to hold their stencils. It's so great for stencils because look, you can just press down on the sides and it holds it really well. This is made out of the same stuff that your clear stamps are. So you know how sticky that stuff is. Okay, and I put a little piece of tape over it just so I don't get the gray where I don't want to. Okay, so we're going to create a gradation here. We're going to have it darker at the top and lighter towards the bottom. We really only want to ink blend about halfway. We don't really want to go much more than halfway, and we want to keep it light. That's the key, because we are going to do 2 layers, kind of like 4, sort of, because we have the other row of buildings that we want to add. So we can't get too dark because we want to add those. And we also have all of the windows that we want to add. We want to have that contrast. So the key is to be light. And the best way to be light is to tap off onto some excess cardstock. So I'm just grabbing this little scrap here. But luckily Granite's already pretty light color, so it shouldn't be too tricky. So I'm going to load up. And I was helping some people at Create with their ink blending, and I realized that like the best way to get a light blend is very counterintuitive. You want to actually load up. So if you want a light blend, you actually want to load up with your ink. So really load up your blending brush and then blend it out. Blend it out and then come to your project. That's really the best way to get a light blend. Instinctively, you would think for a light blend, you only want to get like a little bit of ink on your blending tool, but actually you're going to have a smoother blend if your brush is well loaded, but by tapping it off, it's going to be evenly dispersed. And then your pressure is really what's controlling how much and how much you go over it, the intensity of the color. And I want it darker at the top of the buildings and lighter as I work about halfway down. So I'm going to bring it down to about here. So it fades to the white of the paper. And I think that is probably where I should stop right there. So pretty light, pretty light. All right, now that we have everything in place, we're going to grab our buildings, tuck them in. You may want to put a little piece of tape down just to, actually, I think my sticky mat will hold it. I think it will hold it. I'm going to press on here, or my grip mat will hold that. All right, and now we can be a lot more heavy-handed, but again, we want to stop about halfway because we want to leave space down here, some white space for our second row of buildings. All right, I think that is done. Let's go ahead and remove your stencil and tape. Oh, it looks so good. I love it, man. It's so cool. It's so easy to do. Okay, next we're going to grab the smallest row of buildings. Place them about there. And you can always flip. I might flip mine. I'm noticing that, nah, I'll just leave it. It doesn't really matter. Okay, we're gonna go, even though I can see some of my windows here, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna see how it goes. Hi, Vicky. Oh, thanks. I'm so glad. Let's maybe make him straight. All right, there we go. Okay, again, we're going to create a gradation, darker at the tops of the buildings, lighter down. But now we don't have to worry so much because we don't have any more rows of buildings that we have to kind of save white for. In fact, it would be totally okay to even be a little bit more heavy-handed here. Just not so, you want to save a little bit of room. You don't want to go like so heavy-handed that you can't get some contrast from the windows. You want to be able to get some contrast out of the windows too. It does look like that, Cindy. I agree. It looks kind of like fog rising out. Totally. And this is not my instincts. This is not how I would have instinctively approached this, but the way the stencil is lends itself this better. But instinctively, I would have done the reverse. I would have done darker and lighter towards the tops of the buildings. But for this stencil, this works a lot better. And I love the way it looks. Sometimes it's kind of funny how the products dictate how they're used. I really should have put some tape down here. Ooh, hopefully I didn't mess it up. But the products kind of dictate how you use them. And because of that, you're using them like not in a way you would normally do, and then you get these really good results. I always think that's so cool. It's like, I would not have thought of that, but I kind of had to do it this way because that's how it's designed, and then I love what I got. Okay, I'm going to stop there. Hey, Dana, how are you? Grab that fallout piece. Pop it in here. There we go. And now is where you want to go really heavy-handed to really get a lot of contrast. And you know, I am just worried about the shifting on me, so I'm going to put one piece of tape down there. I've got all my, speaking of never throwing things away, I can't even throw tape away. So I have my tape chair here with all my pieces of tape, and I'm going to keep using them until they just don't stick no more. I can't even throw tape away. I'm not as bad as my sister, though. My sister makes me feel like I'm really good because she'll keep, which I don't want to make her feel bad about. Like she needs to do what she wants to do, and she does great things with it. But she'll keep a lot of packing materials, like things that products came in, not stamps, but other things, like because especially with kids' products, you'll have really shiny, pretty backgrounds on toys and stuff, and she'll keep a lot of that stuff for crafting. And I've just got to the point where I'm like, I just can't keep it. I just can't keep it. It's got to go. All right, I think that's done. Hopefully I didn't go too heavy-handed. Oh yeah, it looks good. I did mess up a little bit. Oh, I should have put that tape down. I have a little spot here. I'm going to try my sand eraser to fix it, but pretty nice. I like it. Maybe I'm going to go a little bit darker with those buildings. It's so easy to do. Unfortunately, that won't cover up my mistake because my mistake's is in the sky. I just feel like this is too much contrast. So I'm going to go a little darker, just a tiny bit. Let's make sure we're lined up. This is a bit of a gamble, but it's not too difficult to line up your stencil again. And this is actually a pretty simple card. I don't feel like it looks that way, but it is pretty simple. So I'm going to take that little extra time to make it the way I want. Mine is on your Big Shot. Yes, I've been switching. I usually have it on my die cutting machines, but I have 4 die cutting machines because I'm insane. And I've been switching them around a lot lately. So they haven't been building up their tape like they usually do. It's my chair that's building up the tape now. And I kind of wonder if I've completely, have I switched over to the chair now? I don't know, maybe. All right, I think that is good. I'm happy with that. Oh yeah, that looks great. I'm glad I did it a little bit more. Good afternoon. Oh, you just wait till you see the July kit. It's so good. And I'm only using like a fraction of the products from this June kit. But both kits, the July kit, the upcoming July kit, which I will show you at the end of this live, and the June kit here, which I'm only using a fraction of the products, are so jam-packed. There's so much in them. There really are a huge, really great value. All right, I'm going to try to fix my boo-boo with a sand eraser. I think it's light enough that I shouldn't have too much of a problem. That's what I always forget to do, is mask. I don't know about you guys. I get kind of excited and I want to see, especially with stencils, I'm like, I just want to see what it looks like. It's going to look like. And I forget about masking. But these are by Tombow. And these are the mono sand erasers, lifesavers. If you don't have these already, you definitely need to get a sand eraser. And my daughter drew a little face on it. Oh, a bird! Duh, that's totally could do that. I could totally stamp a bird over that. What was I thinking? That's a brilliant idea. All right, speaking of birds, let's stamp some. Let's stamp our birds and our power lines. That's the next step. So I'm gonna grab my Misty again. And pop it in here. Actually, we're gonna go to the upper corner. The first thing I want to stamp is the actual power line pole. So this guy right here. You guys are so clever. Oh, this is your first time? Oh, they're so good. Well, wait till I show the July one that's coming tomorrow. I'll show everything. I could try to show everything in this one, but I'm not sure if I have it all well organized. So the nice thing about putting your, I feel like there's a little gap here. So this is a good spot for my power lines. So I'm going to kind of fill in that white space a little bit with, and I want to adjust a tad like off the card front. Yeah, like that. I think that's good. Pick it up with my Misty, and we're going to stamp this in black ink. Really, any black ink works. I'm going to be using Hero Art's INTENS-ified black. I have two, and one that's inky and one's a little dried out. I need to like mark the inky one, so I might be switching between two. I need to get a re-inker, so that's what I really need to do. I use this one a ton because it is the it's really nice and black, but it's also waterproof and okay for alcohol markers. Yes, I was like, where does it say it on there? I know it is. I couldn't find it. I'm like, very confused. Yes, you could totally use your sticky mat inside your, it's in your Misty. You could use that with your stencils too. I just want to keep my sticky mat super sticky, so I'm going to only use it when I like have to. All right, let's try this one. Are you the juicier one? Oh, maybe. Yes, you are. Okay. You're the bad one. You're the good one. Oh yeah, look at that. Looks so good. Love that silhouetted look. Okay, now for the power line part. So for the power line, you have this like really incredibly thin stamp. That's what we're going to use. If this stamp gives you trouble, which I wouldn't be surprised if it does because it's just so thin. Let me get this out of the way though before we get going. I have a trick, which I did share in my video I created already that's on the Hero Arts YouTube channel with this kit. It's a different card, but I show how to use acetate to kind of help you out. But let's see how we do. So obviously it's straight, but you can easily curve your stamps so it has a nice like drooping look. Let me show you the original card. That's kind of what we're going for. You could, you know, get it lined up. I'm going to have to move my card base though. So I have this end open. The most important part is getting that end on a black part of that power line hole. Don't worry about, I know this bend is not totally right. Then once you pick it up, you can then play with it and adjust it. The other option, which I'll show you real quick, is using your acetate. Place it over your cardstock. There you go. And because these stamps stick better to slick surfaces like the acetate versus your cardstock, even though we know it sticks to our cardstock, but it sticks better to this, it'll kind of grab on this and then you can kind of play with it right here on the card front, which is a little bit easier. So how do I want this to look? Maybe something like that. Okay. Oh well. And now we get to stamp it. And we have to do this 2 more times. Make sure everything still looks good. Yep. I'm gonna go down here. Yeah. Can we buy the Sky Stamp set alone? No, you can't. I'm sorry, Barbara. It's only part of the kit. So the only way to get this set is purchasing the kit. But there are, Hero Arts has it might be out of stock. We have a stencil that is a sky. It's not a stamp, but it's a stencil that you can ink blend a similar sky to this, but it might be out of stock right now. But that would be a very good option. Look at how good that looks. So good. Clean that up. I can't remember the name, otherwise I'd tell you, but you can just look up, you know, stencil sky on the Hero Arts website, and I'm sure you'll find it. All right, let's grab the acetate again, where did I put it? Where did it go? Uh-oh, I don't know. I've already lost something. Here it is. Let's go this way this time because I folded it last time. Ooh, how cool. Wow, David, that's awesome. Oh, my daughter has a bad cough. I'm not sure if you can hear her. No, these don't have to match the same curve. My stamp is a little dirty, so it's not quite sticking as well. I'll adjust it there. right. Moving along. Gonna ink that up and stamp it real quick. Just barely makes it from the power line pole or the pole and to off the page. Nice. All right, one more to go. Try my stamp off real quick. Since this one is shorter, I'm not even going to bother with the acetate. I think I can get it without the acetate. Okay, I lied. My fingers are too sticky. Back to trusty acetate. Works just so well. And I want this one to be like not the same, I don't want it to be parallel. I want it to kind of connect up. I just think that looks a little bit more realistic. There we go. Oh yeah, that looks so good. How cool is that? It's so cool. Look, we made it all droopy. I love it. So neat. I'm a line woman. All right. It turned out so good. Okay, now we have the birds. I love how it breaks up that contrast where it goes over the buildings. I just love how it breaks things up a little bit. You could always put a little squirrel on here too. Wouldn't he be funny? He'd be so cute. And let's see, I'm gonna use the birds that are like flying. You could do these birds too, and you can get them to curve. Just like you did with the acetate, you could get the bird, use the acetate to help you bend those birds, that bird stamp, so it follows the curve of your power line and or telephone line, telephone wire, or whatever it is. I don't know the right word. These are telephone lines, right? Do we even have these anymore? Okay, I'm gonna look at my original card. Like, I know we have power lines, but do they look the same? I'm gonna stamp them kind of over to the right side of my card. Save a little bit of room here for my sentiment. Let's go up a little bit. No, let's kill it right there. And then in black. I bet you do, Barbara. My uncle had like property, not in Texas, but like, you know, out of the Phoenix City area. And he had power lines, even though it was like kind of remote, or telephone lines or whatever. And he had these, I know there's a word for this piece up here. And I found one on his property. But you can find them in antique stores all the time. Mine's ceramic, not as cool as the glass ones. It's not a conductor, is it? I don't know what those things are called. Don't have those kind of houses. Don't have these ones. have those you don't have skyscrapers? All right. That is pretty much it. And we have a full, what kind of black is on the birds? Intensified black. Insulator. Thank you, Laura. That's right. I'm using intensified black. All right, now we're gonna move on to our sentiment, but it's like a really dimensional, lots of interest for this is essentially a single layer card. The only thing that we're gonna be, and it doesn't have to be, you could easily stamp your sentiment next and then just be a single layer card, absolutely. I'm going to do a popped up sentiment, but if you wanna make this a single layer card, go for it. It's practically there. There's no real reason to pop up the sentiment. It would still look great, I think, if you just stamp the sentiment in black right onto the card front. All right, I'm gonna grab my black cardstock. Here it's pitch black. Let's tuck it down here in the corner. I'm gonna stamp the hello friend. So hello and friend. Where am I gonna put this? Even though I'm putting them together, make sure they're separate so I can die cut them. All right, and then we're gonna add some anti-static powder because we are heat embossing, or I will be heat embossing. Now, my new favorite thing favorite ink to use for heat embossing is Pigment ink. And since I'm gonna be doing white, I'm gonna be using Hero Art's Unicorn White Pigment ink. I prefer Pigment ink over the, as long as I'm not doing clear. When I use clear, I have to use embossing watermark ink. But when I'm not using clear ink, or when I'm not using clear embossing powder, I like to use Pigment ink. I just think the Pigment ink stamps crisper, and my heat embossing just looks so much better. So I've really come to be, this is my preferred way now. I like hardly ever get out my embossing and watermark ink pad, which is crazy because I used to use it all the time. This has been a game changer. Mindy taught me this, and I've never looked back. And it looks pretty white already, just with the white Pigment ink. I gotta stand up and grab my white embossing powder. But here, like in real life, it's a little splotchy. If I stamped it more times, it would have been fine, but I really like the shine and a little bit of dimension that the white heat embossing or white embossing powder adds. So I'm gonna go for the full look. Clean off a little bit my excess powder. All right, gonna be a tad noisy. Mindy, you're here. All right, I think we're done. That's true, Denise. That's a very good point. Denise says is that using Pigment ink that matches your embossing powder hides little miss spots. Totally. And that might be partly why it looks so much better. But look at that. It looks so good, so crisp, perfect, like no little splotchiness. I'm obsessed. This is my new thing. I'm trying to spread the good word. You probably are all doing it already because you all watch Mindy and because you're all smart, but I just thought it was, I didn't realize how good it was until I started doing it myself. I'm like, oh yeah, this is really better. Okay. Put these away. And now we're ready to die cut. Grab my stamp set. Here it is. Try not to make a humongo mess, because then I spend so much time after these lives cleaning up. But it's so hard to be like, it just needs to get out of my way. So I throw it somewhere and then I've lost it. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? There we go. All right, now the dies, which are here. So dies for the sentiments, which is awesome. Even the friend, love that. Here we go. So I got the hello, I got the friend. Put this back in there. Well, let's grab the stamp set and put him back in there. And I'm going to use my compact cutter to cut this out because it's really good for these smaller things. Oh, where have my plates gone? Oh, there they are. A million things. Okay, here we go. Now we're ready to rock and roll. Put a little piece of tape down to hold it in place. And let's do one more. Guys, I might need to do my compact cutter now, but I don't know if you noticed. I die cut with my die cutting machine. Did I use to die cut? No, I didn't. I'll die cut later. But I fixed it. Long story short, I fixed my squeaky die cutting machine. If you've seen my lives before, you know that my poor die cutting machine was so squeaky, but it doesn't squeak anymore. I finally fixed it. It only took me like 6 years, but I finally fixed it. Oh, that didn't die cut the best. I'm gonna go with it. It's not that bad. I didn't line it up good is what I should say. Die cut fine, but I failed. But I tested out. I die cut for the next card, I pre-die cut some stuff out, and no squeak. So excited about that. All right. Put these dies back real quick. Don't want to lose those. All right, and the last step is putting this sentiment on, and our card is complete. I'm going to use some black foam adhesive because my sentiment is black. So cute. Okay. Let's turn these over. Let's grab a little strip here. 100% will need the tweezers. One of these strips I must be able to grab. There we go. This just has when you use black embossing powder or black foam with the black sentiment, it just looks so good. So clean. It's those little things, you know, like inking up the top of your card that I did with the navy blue, or the ink pad in the navy part. It's those little things that make a big difference, I think. Since they make it, you know, they make it easy for you. All right. The backing. Use the stab and grab method. All right, we'll put this. Hey, you're not allowed to stick to the back. my tea roller. I'm a little bit, I should stand up. I'm feeling lazy. It looks pretty straight. I like to overlap it just a bit. It looks more seamless that way. All right, that completes the card. So awesome. Just under an hour, not too bad. And we talked and chit-chatted. So a pretty easy card. Definitely be fun to try with different color combos for the sky. There are other ombre ink pads, but you can use the technique I'm going to show you in the next card to do whatever colors you want. And I can show you some of the ones I did with the included ink pads. Maybe if I can get them out of here. Did they fall out? No, they're there. So here in the ink pad, you had two blues and a purple and a pink. And here's what those look like stamped. So not even ombre, and they're still really beautiful. Here's basically the same kind of card, but in the blues that came in the ink pad or in the kit. I think it was dusty. I'm forgetting what they were. Dusty blue, peony, amethyst, and stonewash. Oh, I remembered. I think I did. I think I got that right. Okay, now let's move on to the next card. So the next card features the awesome Urban Window Fancy Die. This was the June Fancy Die of the month. This is a pretty large die. This is an A2 panel, so you can see it has a nice little border, which is what you would want for a window die. You really wouldn't want it to go all edge to edge. That's just like too much, too big. Sorry, on my camera. But it's still a really nice size. The window has these branches that they'll die cut out. And then in addition to that awesome die, which is really cool, you could use year round, you have this cute little potted plant. This is a stack of books, and you have a little bird. So we're going to use all of those on this card. But before we actually use this window die, we need to stamp our background. And we're going to go back to that Urban Sky. That's what it is. Urban Sky Heroescape set that we just used on the last card. And we're going to stamp a sky again. Can never grab things. They're just tricky to pick up. All right, I do need to score this. Apparently I did not fold this card base over. We're going to start with our card base. I'm doing top folding, but you could do side folding, doesn't matter. Top folding just is my preference. Do you think Hero Arts will return to providing inspiration with the kit? Maybe. I think, Sandra, you're talking about the, hopefully, we are, I think you're talking about the postcard. We're discussing it, so I'm hoping to. But it is nice to get it, in hand when you get the kit. I think you're talking about that postcard, which is nice. Obviously, we have a bunch of card samples on our blog, videos on our YouTube channel that we share with the kit. But I think you're talking about the postcard, which is super nice when it comes with the card examples. And I think that's what you're talking about. And I agree. I do like that a lot. So hopefully we're discussing it. Okay, so question is now, where did I put that clear stamp set? Right beside me. Yeah, I agree. I really liked it too. I thought it was really nice. I still like, I mean, we're card makers. We like touching and feeling things. So I think we all responded to that, myself included. So I hope they do it again. Okay. I'm gonna get my sticky mat now that I discovered this awesome, remembered I had this, because we're gonna stamp the sky again. So pop that in here, put my card base. I'm gonna, again, go away from the edge so I can end up stamping this sky edge to edge. Now, last time we stamped, we started at the top, right? We wanted that sky to start at the top and stop where it would stop. This time we want to go lower than that. So we're going to start again with that solid layer. That's the base layer for the sky. Ooh. And I actually have one die cut out already, a window, to see where we want it to go. We're going to go as far down as we can get, and I'll tell you about where. So about a ½ inch down from the top is pretty safe. This is a little bit bigger than a ½ inch, so if you go a ½ inch down, you're good. Alrighty, now we are going to ink this up with 3 inks. We're going to create an ombre with individual ink pads instead of using an ombre ink pad like we did last time. Heidi, you like the postcard too. I agree. I hope we bring it back. Heidi says it's a reminder when you're going through the supplies what you can do. Yeah. And they're just so nice to get. All right, so the 3 inks I'm using are Reactive inks, just because they stamp. So they're a little bit creamier. They're a hybrid blend. They're a blend of pigment and dye. So they're a little bit easier to get a seamless gradation with, even though for this card, not so crucial since we end up covering it with vellum. But even still, good practice to kind of go over how to make a ombre, how to stamp a gradation without an ombre ink pad. There we go. And this is Splash. Sorry, you can't read it. I cleaned my, I was thinking I was smart one day. I'm going to clean the ink off of my ink pad case with rubbing alcohol and took my word right off. So don't do that. Don't clean your ink pads with rubbing alcohol. You'll take your labels off. All right, so we're going to ink up about a little bit short of halfway with Pool Party. And after we ink it up, you'll use a blending brush and just tap over where you stopped inking. And that'll soften and remove any hard edges you might have created from the ink pad. We'll grab this. Ooh. That's a little scary. Hopefully it did not shift. Please don't shift. We're gonna go for it. I think it's good. Ooh, I'm hungry. Okay, I'm gonna ink it up again. I don't know why I have these right at lunchtime. Just needs to be a little bit darker. Again, I will soften that edge. Just don't want any hard lines, because that's gonna work against you trying to create a seamless gradation. Okay, it's holding. All right, I think I'll stop there. Now we'll move on to our medium shade, which is Splash. This you can go ahead and ink up the remaining like 2/3. So top, down, just stop short of that bottom third of the stamp. It would be difficult to just ink up the middle. Here you'll really see that hard line. So grab your blending brush. I have a different, I'm using the one that I use for Splash. Just kind of soften it a little bit by tapping over the top. Oh yeah. Look at that, so pretty. It's already starting to have that gradation look. So you can achieve a gradation without an ombre ink pad. The ombre ink pad makes it so easy. Blending brush, kind of tap out. Coming along. It looks really good. I'll hold up really quick so you can see. Hi, Tracy. Looks so good. Okay, I think I just need a little bit more over here and we'll be done with the splash. All right, looks really good. All right, now time for Blue Hawaii, our dark, the very top. So about the, just basically the upper third. Then you'll take your blending brush again and just kind of soften where you stopped inking. Okay, just gonna quadruple check we're still in the corner here. Oh yeah, it's looking so good. Okay. I probably will only do 2 of this splash. I mean, Blue Hawaii, sorry, Blue Hawaii, the darkest color. All right, look at that beautiful ombre. You could even do maybe a little bit more. This is me being a little crazy, a little bit more splash. I feel like that middle needs a little bit more. Okay, I'm really done now. Oh yeah, looks absolutely perfect. I'll hold it to the camera here so you can see. Looks really good. Nice ombre. Love these colors. All right, we'll give this a quick clean. Actually don't need any alcohol for the reactive inks. They come off with just water. All right, now for the cloud layer. I'm gonna do the exact same thing I did on the other card. I'm gonna use the mist ink. So very simple, very similar. Let's grab this. Oh, got it turned around. Cut it the right way the first time. Find that spot. These little sections in between the clouds are good kind of register points. But again, it's very forgiving. It doesn't have to be stamped in like a really exact way. There we go. Thank you, Essie. How are you? Happy Sunday. The day launch eve. Because tomorrow is release day. Woohoo! It's gonna be good. All right, grabbing the, sorry, missed. That was loud. And just like before, I'm going to stamp this a couple of times to make sure it's nice and dark. As dark as I can see. Oh, yay, Tracy. I'm glad you can't wait. This card is a little bit more involved in the first, but still not a super time-consuming card. Looks like I'm missing the middle, but look at those clouds. They're really starting to develop. Isn't it great, Deb? It's so fun. And I like only scratch the surface of what this sky stamp can do. Like you can obviously make sunsetty skies. You could even attempt to make kind of like a night sky. Will there be another live working with the monthly items? Yes, Vicki, we are another live than this. So make-alongs, we're going to stick with the make-alongs. We'll always have a make-along for release. The make-alongs will be primarily focused on the card kit of the month. But I'd like to always try to do 2 cards in a make-along. And the second card will have an element, one of the other subscription elements, or one of the other subscription products, which again, we have 5 in total. The card kit, cling of the month, fancy die of the month, which I'm using, will be using on this card, the clear stamp set and dies of the month, and then lastly is the layering stencil of the month. So one of those 4 products will be used on the second card for the make-alongs. And if I didn't answer that, Vic, your question, just help me understand if I didn't quite get to what you were actually asking. Country. Oh, good, Pamela. I'm glad you like them. Okay. I'm still missing the middle. I'll do one last time here. All right. Oh, yeah, that looks so good. Dun, dun, dun. Yes, I know, Deb. A lot of people do miss the zipper bags. The zipper bags, though, will now be included in the whole studio. Probably not what you want to hear, but at least if you do purchase the whole studio, you get one of those zipper bags. And the zipper bags we do sell on our site, so they're still available. You can get them, but they become in packs of 4. And there is a deal that we're going to share with subscribers where you get a discount and you can get them at 14, and they're normally $19.99. So they'll be now 14 for you guys. I think they're gonna share that tomorrow in a subscriber only email. So they are a great size. I know, Deb, they are great. They really are. Oh, you're not alone in it missing them. Okay, that looks so good. It almost looks too good to cover up with vellum. What color was that? That was mist. So the skies was stamped, the clouds rather, was stamped in mist. The sky, sorry, I know that's loud on camera, I apologize. The sky was 3 reactive inks, blue Hawaii, splash, sorry, I cleaned it and it came off. And then, so that was the sky, and did an ombre technique to make it look, have that gradation, and the clouds were mist. Okay, so we're done with that. All right, let's get this out of here. Yeah, I actually use mist on both cards because I just love it so much. It's such a nice color. But yeah, and again, I was saying I only scratched the surface of really what you could do with this stamp set. You could make so many different colored skies and really totally change the feel and theme. I wish I kind of made this more stormy because I feel like, see, what a cozy scene would it be to have like looking out a window with a stormy sky and you have like your book and everything. Be cute. All right, so that's what it looks like with the just as is, but we're gonna add a piece of vellum. It just softens it a little bit and again, changes the feeling of the card. So I have Hero Arts vellum here. It's nice and like thicker, as it's 48 pound. I'm struggling with opening this. Here we go. There's a piece. And it just softens it. Look at how cool that looks. So what a neat way to do it. Oh, you like this one even better, Barbara? Awesome. And the nice one about this technique is you can do it with any colors you have. Any colors you have. It can be, and it can be whatever sky. You're not dependent upon what's available as an ombre. All right, so I actually did, I was intending to cut one of these out on camera, but I ended up having one done already and I didn't realize that. And I cut one out beforehand because you need 2. So basically you need 2 of these. Let's grab the Urban Window fancy guy here. You want to cut them out of an A2 panel, at least one. One of them needs to be centered on an A2 panel and cut out. I have an A2 panel here. But I don't want to cut it because I don't want to, since I have one ready to go. But you'd center it and then just run it through. And then you do that a second time, though the second one could be scrap, but basically it has to be a scrap already. That's basically the size of an A2. So for simplicity, 2 A2 panels, run it through with that window die. So you have this. Now we're going to cut out one of them. So I'm going to cut this one free. And I've already gone ahead and cut out my bird and my pot. I used kind of the leftover pieces and cut out these guys. So they're ready to go. I'll just put them aside. And then grab my scissors here. And we're going to cut the, let's start by cutting the branches away on this one. So we're just going to go in. Let me make sure I got this right. Where's my card? Yeah, I just want to remind myself. Cut the branches. And the window pane. So here I'm at a window pane. Let's get this black there. I can see it better. There, cut that out. Now I'll cut this branch. Keep him. We're going to use him. Keep those branches. You need them. There we go. Don't think I use this little teeny one here on the right side, but Could put them aside just in case. All right. Now this branch, let's hold it here so you can see. I want to free it from the pane. So I'm actually going to just cut. See this leaf here? Let's hold it maybe this way. See that leaf? We're going to just cut the branch off to so it follows along to that leaf. So it's nice and seamless. There we go. This we don't need, you can toss it. Oh, I can't pick anything up today. And there's our little branch. Now he needs a little bit more cleanup. We have some leaves here that are not, they're a little cut off. First I'm gonna fix this branch here. Cut that off, round it a little. And then I'm just gonna round these leaves. Just a tiny bit, like that's all it takes. There, that looks good. Don't worry about that, that'll be covered up, I think. I can't remember how I put these together, but I will figure it out. And this one here, that was in the bottom left, it's pretty much ready to go. You could round out this leaf a little here where it was attached to the window. But that one's pretty much ready to go. So now we have our two branches. Again, we don't need that little teeny one. You could just put it aside. Next thing we're gonna do is fussy cut this frame out. A haircut, that's perfect, Deb, a haircut. Okay, I don't wanna have any of this like remaining portion of the panel. So I'm gonna cut along. And just snip these tabs. You don't really have to do this step, but we end up with a really dimensional look. I'm going to hold up to the camera here so you can see why I did this. This isn't necessary. It's just if you want more dimension, which I'm going to always probably be on that team of more dimension. All right, almost done here. 2 more tabs to go. There we go. This you can toss. Now we have our window frame. So here's the card. See how that frame is popped up? So we have the panel popped up and the frame popped up. Just really adds more depth and interest to that scene. Oh, sentiment strips, that's true. I didn't even think about that. They're perfect for that. All right, so we got our frame. We put that aside. We have our branches, our bird, our book, and our pot. We're now going to Copic color these. So I'm going to grab my Copics. And the colors are all listed. I will show them. Ouch, that's sharp. The colors are all listed in the instructions or that are on the blog. But Cindy says, I ordered the window die with my sale items. Nice. Yes, we have flash. We've been having flash sales after every hero, hanging with hero, and they're awesome. This was a good one. Good choice. It's very versatile. I love it. Okay, so we're going to start with the branches. I have 2 browns picked out, E31 and E35. E31 is our light. We'll start with that. Oops, not that end. And color everything except for the leaf. I mean, all the branch part except for the leaf. I'm going kind of a spring summery look with this card, but wouldn't it be fun to color these with like fall colors, these leaves? I think that'd be so cool. And I could see like a little pumpkin sitting here in the corner. So fun. I'm already ready for fall. I'm done with summer. I'm done. These cutout branches, obviously you want to color those too. We're going to use those to just fill out our tree a little bit more. Not necessary, but I just like the look of it. More branches. Now pause for a second and take a drink of water real quick. All right, now for our darker shade, E35. Just going to add a shadow. All right, I'm going to look at my original card. How did I have this branch? Oh, he's just down like that. Okay. I'm going to have this shadow. Oh, I do use, oh, no, I don't. I don't use that little branch. On the underside. So like the bottom. Gosh, sorry. This is moving around so much. So down here on the underside. And this branch is the same position as this one here. So you'll put it in the same place. So just color along the edge that E35. And you know, this would be a great time to use that sticky mat again. I don't know why I didn't think about that. I can hold my die cuts in place. I'm telling you, I just forget to use things that I have that are perfect for. They're made to use this way, and I forget about them. And I'm actually going to take my light gray and just soften it a little bit. It is a pretty jump, big jump between these shades. All right, now I got to do the same thing on this one. Real simple Copic coloring. I'm definitely not the world's best Copic color, but I still like to, you know, add it. I think it's a really great way to add color to your stamped images or your die cuts. I'm not trying to go for realism, just like color and a little bit of interest. All right, look at how good that looks. So good. And now time for the leaves. So the leaves get, not that one, this one, YG61. And the dark is going to be G40, which I know this looks like the light and this is the dark, but this is the light, YG61. Okay, quickly color these leaves. You do want to be careful. This window pane is the only one we have. So I did get a little bit of Copic on mine, but I'll clean it off with. But you can get Copic on this frame. Just the window pane, avoid getting any Copic on it because that's the only one that's going to be shown. So quickly coloring the leaves. Then we'll add a little shadow with that G43. Bingo. Where do G's stop? Could there be a G43? I think it stops at like 35 or something. It's been a minute since I've played bingo. We used to play with my grandma, and because we could convince her to give us prizes if we won, which is like a piece of gum or a candy bar or something. All right, so there's those leaves all colored in on both branches. And we can go ahead and glue these if you want. Kind of get them out of the way so we don't lose them. Let's see if I could grab anything today. Where are my tweezers? I'm having a hard time picking things up. I think my nails are too long. All right, so this bigger branch, so you have two branches. You have the bigger one and the smaller one. The bigger one's going to go down here on the right side. Something like that. I mean, look at how cute that is. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to the end here. I have the bird sit on it, so I actually have it closer to there. Something like that. It's not exactly the same, but it's fine. Something like that. And then this one, do I use this one? I only use one? Oh no, I do use it over here. Oh, it's been a minute since I made this card. Okay, it's gonna go over here. It's gonna be attached to that little leaf right here. Just gonna add a little bit of glue to the end of it. It looks like one continuous branch now. Ta-da! Look at our tree. We made it bigger. Pamela, you were done with summer 2 months ago. I think I'm with you. I think I was done before it started. Over it. We're done. All right. Now time to color these guys. So I'm going to start with, let's start with the pot. I have 3 colors picked out for this one. YR00. Yeah, I get it, Lee. Inks are easier. E, and then E4 is our medium, and then E8 is our dark. I always like to start with my lights. I mean, this card could have been done, if you didn't want to use Copics, you could die cut these out of colored cardstock. That's definitely an option. And you could like paper piece together if you wanted, I don't know, like the books to be different colors. I do think in that sense, Copics are a little bit easier. Okay, I'm onto my medium, which is E04. Now a little shadow under. I'll color in the pot as well. And then E8. This is the real terracotta color. Okay. All right, now I gotta do some serious blending it out. There we go. So there's a little terracotta pot. Oh, daubers. That's a good idea, Lee. Totally could do that. And these images are small enough you could easily use I love Tombow dual brush pens. I use those a lot. I could see myself using Tombow dual brush pens to color these, or even colored pencils. They're not so big that it wouldn't be a ton of work. Sometimes coloring big areas is a lot of work with colored pencils, but these are not huge. All right, the leaves. We're going to use G43 as our light and YG67 as our dark. Am I going too slow? I'm trying. And then I'll add a little shadow with our darker shade. Along the stem and a little bit on the leaves. Add a little interest. Okay, I think that is done. Look how cute. Oh my gosh, it turned out so good. All right, and then the books. We're using purple and blues. The two purples are BV00 is the light, BB02 is the dark. For the top book, I'm going to color the whole book except for obviously the pages. Use the dark to add a little shadow along the spine and the cover. All right, and then the blues, which we're also going to use for the bird. B93 for the light, B97 for the dark. And there's only like the tiniest little edge here to color for the bottom book. All right, there's our books done. And lastly, our bird. I don't want to color his belly or his eye. Well, you can color his eye because we're going to go over black. Belly, beak, and feet. Leave white. Whole thing with the light. Then we'll grab our darker. Just color along the bottom of the bird, tail feathers. Run it out a tiny bit. All right. And then for the beak and feet, YR23, just the yellow, really warm one. And then for the eye, I'm going to grab a little Copic marker multi-liner. They're really, really fine. They're really great for coloring that eye, which is so teeny tiny. Okay. Any one of them will work. I used 0.5. They're all small. All right. So that's our bird, our pot, and our books. Look at how cute they look. They turned out so good. Okay. We are ready to put this all together now. That was, oh, well, we have one more thing to do. We have to stamp our sentiment. We want to kind of do it before we glue everything down because you don't want to mess it up. Let me grab my stamp positioning tool. I'm going to pop my card base in just as a kind of a guide where everything is. You'll also need that A2 panel with the window cut out of it. Here it is. This one. And oops. We want to stamp our sentiment in this window here. You're going to use I should say, a stamp from the Neighbor Messages stamp set. Just not sure where it went. Does this say Hello Friend too? Hello Neighbor. Both of these are hello cards, aren't they? You could use any sentiment. You could do Wish You Were Here. I might do that one just to change things up. Or what's the other one? See You Around. Wish You Were Here is kind of like Miss You. All right, that's where it's going to go. All right, now I can pull everything out of here. I don't need my card base. I'm just stamping on the vellum. I am going to heat emboss on this. So I'll need anti-static powder. And since my new thing I love is pigment ink, I'm going to be using the pigment ink as well as my ink instead of embossing watermark ink. I'm using this Moonstone since it's pretty dark. It's close to black. Hero Arts does make a black onyx, so an actual black pigment. I just don't own it, so I've got to get that. But this Moonstone is pretty dark. It's like a really dark gray, so it'll work. Close enough. Even like a dark blue or purple would work fine as well if you only have those pigment inks. Because I will heat emboss with this, over this with, do it one more time, black embossing powder. Here we go. This is the just Hero Arts Detail Black. And I'm going to definitely use my brush here and get off any stray powder. Black shows up real bad, so I'll get that extra powder off. But it looks so good. Look how beautiful it's stamped. So good. Okay, I'm going to heat emboss, so it's going to be a little noisy. Oh, and look at how good that turned out. Oh my gosh, can you guys see? It's perfect. So, so good. All right, now before I put this together, I'm noticing on my original card, it's a little bit blue here. So I think I ink blended a little bit with, I cut some of the white away, the mist. So I'm actually going to do that. I'm actually ink blend with a little bit of the mist. But I've got to stand up and get my blending tool. I didn't plan for that. Okay. It's just a little too much contrast on there. So I have mist here in my inkstand. And I'm ink blending up into the clouds a little bit, but leaving these ones pretty white. Where's my card? Oh yeah. That's gonna help out a lot. All right, I'm gonna stop there. Yeah, Moonstone is kind of a gray tone color. I mean, it looks black, but it's I don't have, Hero Arts does make a black pigment ink. It's Onyx. I just don't have it. That's what I'd use instead, but I only have this. I'm gonna swatch it out for you just real quick. So it's pretty dark. You can see it's a dark gray, but that works. Yeah, it's so crisp. I'm telling you, Mindy has completely changed how I heat emboss. I use pigment inks now. The only time I'd use a clear embossing watermark ink pad for heat embossing is when it has to be clear. But if it doesn't have to be clear, if it's gonna be gold, white, black, or some color, I'm gonna use pigment ink because it just works so much better. I feel like my designs are crisper and like was already mentioned in this live, it kind of fills in, you have a more solid. Sometimes I do heat emboss with white, using white embossing powder and then the embossing watermark ink pad. You'll notice, especially on like dark cardstocks like black, you'll notice it being a little splotchy. This, no splotchiness, because you have that white ink pad really helping out. Look at that, that made a huge difference, right? That little bit of ink blending. All right, we have our vellum, our frame, our die cuts. Let's put this together. The first thing we're gonna do is adhere this onto the card front. We're just gonna adhere it with liquid glue. The only trick here is you wanna make sure you keep the glue on the outer edges. Grab my glue here, here it is. I'm gonna just do it here. There we go. Okay, stick that down. Okay, well, I'm gonna put something on this to weight it down. I like to use a plate. There. Let that sit while I put this together. I'm going to add foam adhesive to the back side of this. So I'm gonna grab my 1/8 and 1/4 inch foam adhesives. So here's my 1/8, here's my 1/4, and we're going to town. I'm trying to decide right now if I'm gonna bother putting foam adhesive on this frame. I really don't, or the pane, I guess is what it is. I don't really feel like I need to. So I have the 1/8, I think would fit just barely. I'm just gonna add a tiny bit to a couple of the leaves and then call it done. Call that good enough. This is definitely overkill, but I think it'll be all that it needs is just a couple bits of support in the center. So I'm just adding it behind some of the leaves because those are bigger and an easier spot to add these little pieces behind. But I don't think you have to do this. All right, now I'm going to remove the backing on all the foam adhesive. I should have removed all these little pieces before I stuck them down. It's just easier when you're gonna do teeny tiny little pieces, just to remove the backing. Yes, it's a little annoying that it sticks to you, but I think that annoyance is less than the struggle of getting the backing off of those tiny bits. But we got it off. Okay. All right, let's grab this. Place that down. Looks so good. Oh, Pamela, do you make 5x7 cards? I used to make 5x7 cards. It is hard to find products for that size. That's kind of why I switched over to A2. Now I can't imagine making any other size card because now A7s seem huge. I feel like, oh my gosh, how am I going to fill that space? We went from 12 by 12 scrapbooking sheets or panels or whatever you want to call them, pages. There you go, that's the right word. To A7 cards down to we're getting progressively smaller and smaller. That's why we like miniatures. We'll get down to miniatures. We'll make little miniatures. Don't forget to hit. Oh, thank you, Raquel. That's nice. I actually made miniature books once when I was younger because I had a dollhouse, which I still have. But I know a lot of crafters who are card makers who like those little miniatures. I've seen like little miniature craft, like rooms or products or something. I've seen miniature craft stuff. Okay, remove the backing on this. This frame can go either way, so it doesn't matter. But if you want it to be exactly the same, you can look at the lines and match them up. Like these detail lines. I just so happen to be holding it the right way. Ooh, it's stuck on my finger. Look at it's coming together. All right, and last we have our bird and our pot and what is this called? Books. Those are books. So do I have to double that up? I do. So I've got to double up the foam adhesive for the books and the pot because it's going to sit on top of this frame and the window is popped up. So the window's popped up, the frame is popped up. So my favorite way to double up is just kind of fold it over, cut it. I'm going to go ahead and remove the backing all in one go. And we need a fairly large amount for the pot. Like that. Have it kind of on the upper part. You can go ahead and stick that down. Oh my gosh, it looks so cute. And then the book, only a little bit's going to be hanging off the window. Here, I'm looking at my original. So it's going to go there. Just the upper portion of the purple book. All right, and the bird, he only needs 1 layer of foam adhesive. Oh, I can't get it off. Okay, there we go. No. Oh, clumsy. There we go. And I'm going to put him so he's like kind of sitting on this branch here. Actually, we're going to put him out here. He will be behind the leaf there. He looks weird. Okay, let's move him again. There, that's better. Cute. And that's it. It's all done. Very, very fun. Again, like I was saying, be fun to see this with for different seasons. I can't wait to make a fall card with this, obviously. All right, so that completes our 2 cards we created today, which means we can see I can share the July card kit. So again, tomorrow is our release. So today is technically July Hero Studio, what do we call it? Eve. Let me go over here and grab it real quick. Have it to the side. So all I'm going to show you is the card kit of the month. But remember, we have 4 other subscriptions, a 5th if you count the whole studio. So we do have a subscription that includes the card kit in addition to these 4 other ones, which is the Cling of the month, the stamp set, clear stamp set and dies of the month, the fancy die of the month, which is what we used on this card. Well, we used last month's, which is June. That's how you say that word. And then the last, we call the monthly mini, is the layering stencils. So I'm not showing you those. Those you can see tomorrow, as well as we have extras. So our releases have got huge now with the new Hero Studios, because we have all kind of the new addition is the subscription, the new subscription. So more options, more products, which I love. And it's still basically, we have a card kit, which is still very similar to the premium My Monthly Hero card kit that we had in the past. All right, so the July card kit. Grab some cards so I can show you. The very first thing I'm going to show you is the awesome, now mine's used, so be forgiving. Mine's a little bit stained and used, but there you get this awesome 6x8 stamp set. So huge stamp set with this awesome Victorian seaside theme. A little bit of hero-scaping kind of stamps here. We have a stamp for the sky, a stamp for the water, and then you get a bunch of additional images to kind of build your scene. I guess this would be kind of part of the hero-scaping as well. This like fence and grass and a little life saver, preserver. Really pretty. And I love all these images. We got 2 people walking here, some kids. Love these 2 holding hands. So sweet. We have a little boy here, a little girl up here holding a pail. Sentiments. Look at how beautiful these sentiments are. I love them. Nice general happy birthday. Can always use that. Thank you. Seize the day. Thinking of you and sending waves of happiness also enjoy each day. Lots of great sentiments. There's birds you can add to your scene. These beach huts, those are so cute. A little boat you can stamp out in your water. Well, it's this boat that can be kind of in the sand near the beach, and a lighthouse, of course. And look at the feet walking the sand. So many fun images, and not to mention there's some like tiny, like a beach ball and some tiny shells as well. So lots of great images. A big stamp set again. This is 6 by 8, so it's a big stamp set. And there are also coordinating dies. A boardwalk, yeah, like on a boardwalk, exactly. Let me see if I can grab them out here. There are 22 coordinating dies to go along with this Victorian seaside stamp set. You have dies for all of the sentiments. Love that, love that, love that. It makes it so much easier to design your projects when you have dies for the sentiments. Die for the water, which is nice because then you can put it on like sand cardstock. So that will save you some time for ink blending a background. You could just stamp your water and then put it on a sand cardstock, which is nice. And then there's also a die for this element here that we'd probably have in your foreground. Also dies for all of the images. I'm trying to think. The only image that doesn't have a die is the feet and the birds, which you probably wouldn't die cut anyways. So really, really awesome set. Great. Die cut for the lighthouse, die cut for the huts, even a die cut for the boat. Or I shouldn't say die cut, I should say die. Die for even this boat here as well. So 22, awesome, awesome. Okay, now let me move this to the side. What pigment ink would you use for gold or silver? Joanne asks. I would just use white. I would use yellow for gold, but I usually use white. I just use white because I'm lazy. But I would recommend just a yellow for. And Pamela suggests gold or silver pigment ink pads. Totally could use those too. But I would probably just stick with yellow and a gray for silver. That's what I would use. All right, also included is this awesome ink pad. Look at that. This is a reactive ink pad. Look at that. Reactive inks are so good. There's so many techniques you can do with them. They stamp beautifully. This is an ombre ink pad, which we know I love. They're so awesome. And look at these beautiful colors. This one is, this is Berry Smoothie. This is Taffy, Lemon Drop, Pool Party, one of my favorite colors, and Blue Raspberry. And here's what it looks like swatched out. Look at that. Dreamy. Look at that goodness. Oh my gosh, the colors are so pretty. They're so rich. I did just one swipe with the ink pad, 2 seconds, and look at how intense that is. This is going to be so fun. I can't even wait to see these like beach huts stamped out in this. I use this ink pad. I have a video tomorrow coming out where I show you, I go over this whole release, or well, the whole release, actually, the kit, and I stamp out, I show you how I use this ink pad to stamp the sky, and this portion here to stamp the water. So lots of fun, beautiful colors. I love it so much. How can you use the colors separately? You can't really use the colors separately. They don't pop out like you've probably seen long ago. I was around then. I was stamping then where they used to have ink pads that you'd squeeze and they'd come out. Nope, I used them. I just inked up. So I didn't use them individually, but I inked this up. I held it at an angle to ink up the sky and inked it up on basically those top 3 colors. I only had a little bit, because it's not a very big stamp, only a little bit of it hit the lemon drop. And then for the water, I just turned it this way and inked it up with the water, holding it at an angle, so only a portion. It's actually pretty easy to do. It's not that hard to do, surprisingly. But you don't even have to use this for inking up stamps. Because this is a reactive ink pad, which means it's water reactive, you can watercolor with this. So I could see myself doing is taking a watercolor panel, doing this swiping down and then taking a damp brush and activating that ink and bringing those colors down to make the perfect splishy, splashy background that is so bright and colorful. This ink pad is going to be so great for that. Since the colors are existing, can we re-ink? Yes, absolutely, Vicky. That's what I intend on. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be re-inking this with my my re-inkers. Absolutely, because I love, we don't have enough reactive ink, ombre ink pads. So I'm so excited about this one. Small stamps usually fit nicely. Yes, if it's a smaller stamp, you could definitely probably stamp it in the smaller, use the individual colors, but they don't, for larger stamps, since these don't come out, it's going to have to be an ombre look. Oh, Anne says she loves the reactive ombre pads. Yes, they're so good. I wish we had more. And the winter sky, yes, it looks great. Totally agree with you, Anne. Totally agree. All right, so I showed you the ink pad. I showed you the stamp set. I showed you the coordinating dies. Let's put those aside because there's more. I always feel like I'm a home shopping network person when I go through the kit because there's so much. The next thing is there's a cling. This is the Rock Cling. Look at that. It's a 6x6 bold prints stamp set. I love every single one of Hero Art's bold print stamps. They are so awesome. I can never get enough of these clings. I have probably over 100. I would happily take 100 more. They're so wonderful. I love them for backgrounds. I love just playing with them. I just think they're such a great scale, and there's the patterns and designs are always so wonderful. I always have so much fun. And look at this beautiful one stamped out. Look at that. Look at all the texture. I stamped this onto watercolor cardstock because I have an idea and I can't wait to play with it. I heat embossed it with some black embossing powder. And isn't that dreamy? It's so beautiful. And I love the edge. I've got to figure out a way to incorporate this edge somehow in my card design because look at how beautiful it is. It just ends so nice. I bumped my camera, sorry. So nice and neatly. You know, it's not this like, you know, pattern that keeps going. It actually has a nice end. So great. Oh, don't feel guilty about it, Anne. They're so good. I think they're wonderful. So that is included in the kit. That is a huge stamp set, or huge stamp. I love every bold prints. And there's more. Let me pull out. Here, by the way, here's what it looks like when you stamp the ombre sky and the water. Really, really pretty. Look at that sky. Gorgeous. All right. Next up, there's a little fancy die included in this kit. This super sweet, I'm gonna pull it out here. I have it on magnets. Super little sweet sand castle fancy die. Isn't that adorable? A lot of our creative team members combine this die with our Hero sand embossing powder, and oh my gosh, you guys, it looks incredible. This die cut heat embossed with the sand embossing powder. So, so cool. But look, you have this cute little sand house, or sand, yeah, it's a house. This cute sand castle. And for scale, I'm going to put it on my A2 grid. So you can see it's fairly big. You have a shell, some flags, a little pot, or no, that's a bucket, and a shovel. Look at how great that is. Oh, it's so cute. I love it so much. I paired it with, I have a card that I'll show you tomorrow. Oops, things are falling. I paired it with this background, and I think it was so fun together. But yeah, I can't wait for you guys to see this embossed, heat embossed with our sand embossing powder. It looks so cool. Is it out of stock, Ray? I don't have any, and I'm so mad about it that I don't have any. I don't know. It might be out of stock still. Let's see. I'm there, so let's see. It is out of stock. Oh. Well, I'm in the same boat as you. I don't have it either, and I want some. Hopefully it'll be back in stock. I know we're having a little tricky getting it I don't know if they've changed the formula or we're having a hard time making it the way it used to be, so that when we do reorder, the quality's the same. That's a little bit of the hiccup what we have right now. So I want it back just as bad because I don't even have any. It's terrible. All right, I'm gonna put that away. So that fancy dye is included. So you get that in addition to all those 22 coordinating dyes with the Victorian Seaside stamp set. So next up is a transfer. So the last kit had a transfer. This one does too. Actually, it's 2 sheets of this. Let's hold it this way. So slow it down. Look at this beautiful map transfer. So pretty. Love the details. There's 2 sheets of this. I've actually used one already, but I love it. It's so pretty. I made a really kind of simple card, and I really love how it turned out with this transfers. I shared it on my blog, but it's also on Hero Art's blog. If you go back, and it's shared as one of the countdown cards. So you can actually see this card. Do I have it here? I might have it. Oh, here it is. Look at that. Isn't it so good? I used it in the background. I love it. Right, Heidi? I agree. Please make this in a background clean hero. We want that. Isn't it great? Will they stock it separately for those? I don't know. We've done it in the past, Laura. I don't know for sure. I know we've done it in the past, but I'm not sure if we're going to do it for this one. I'll ask. I'll find out. Can ink blending be done on top of it? No. Well, it's slick, so I don't think so. I've never tried it, to be honest. But it's complete. It's like a whole sheet transfer. So some transfers you would cut out just the image and then transfer the image, and all the acetate that's kind of around it wouldn't transfer. But this is like a whole sheet. What is that part of the kit or rub on? What is it? It's this transfer right here. So you can see this background leaf was made with this sheet here. So yeah, it's like a big sticker kind of, essentially. But because it's slick on the surface, I don't really know if you can ink blend. You could try, like with the Hero Art's dye inks. They can be pretty permanent. I think something that's like a more permanent ink, you know, I don't want to say stays on because obviously you wouldn't ink blend with that, but something more like that really sticks to your stamps, you could try and ink blend over it. It might tint it a little bit. Put the transfer on top of the ink blended cards. Yeah, you can totally do that, Laura says. But it is, just so you know, let's see if I can pull this out. It is like tinted. It's not like completely clear. Here's a little scrap that's left over. Can you see? It's not completely clear. So it will pick up the color of your cardstock underneath. It will definitely do that. You know, so you can tint this, like if you use red, this would be kind of more of a rouge color. Because that tan would sit on top of the red and make it like a pinkier color. So yeah, you can definitely do that. But just be aware that it's not completely see-through. It's opaque. If we pre-order the monthly minis last month, do we have to pre-order them, or are they reoccurring subscriptions? So hey, that's a good question, Vicki. Yeah, Antiques it. There you go, Laura. I believe it's reoccurring. Yeah, it's reoccurring. Ask info at Hero Arts. I'll put it in here real quick just because I don't want to say something wrong. Here, I'll put it in the chat. Info at heroarts.com. Email them, and Vicki, I think it is, but ask them to make sure, to verify. Debbie is there. She will help you, and she will be there tomorrow, and she can answer your question right away. We pre-ordered monthly minis last month. Do we have to pre-order them today? Or are they? I think they're reoccurring. I think they are, but definitely ask, make sure. Oh, thank you, Rachel. I love Rachel's cards. I can't wait to share them. I'm using them in the video tomorrow too. You have do you have to skip if you have to, yeah, that's why I think, Deb, that's exactly why I think it's reoccurring, because you have to like email and request to skip if you want to skip a month. So that to me is saying, yes, it's reoccurring. So I hope that makes sense. When I check my subscriptions, it doesn't show up as a subscription. So that's the only thing I know that's tricky, and it's tricky for a lot of people. Yeah, Karen, thank you for sharing the Q&A, the questions, the addresses questions. But you can also feel free to email Debbie. She can help you too. But what was I saying? Oh, the thing that's confusing. So right now, if you go to Hero Arts, and let's say you want to get the July kit, you can order the July kit by going to Hero Arts and clicking on the subscriptions, and then you can click for the kit. But that will, by ordering that, that is like you're setting up a subscription. Tomorrow, that's where things get confusing, because tomorrow we'll show a picture. We'll have the kit listed as like an individual item, because you can do a one-time order of the kit as well too. So if you do a subscription, since we haven't released yet, we'll release tomorrow. If you do order now, you're kind of ordering for a subscription, but you can always opt out every month if you, or opt out months if you don't want to, or just do 1 month. You can do that too. But basically you're setting up a subscription if you order now. Tomorrow, if you order, you'll see on our channel, we'll still have the subscription page, but we'll also have the card kit listed, and you can order just the July kit. I know it's a little bit confusing, and I'm not sure if that's helped you for. If you are sub before, you can stay in this one. Yes. On. In your account, look under subscription. There you go. Okay, so a lot of people are helping. And please feel free to email info which I may not have done a very good job of explaining that, but I hope that helps. And check the subscription page, check that Q&A page that we shared too, and then I'll answer your questions. But I'm pretty sure it's like automatic renewal, but you can always opt out any month or end your subscription anytime you want. Hope that helps. But since I'm not entirely sure where you ordered, if you ordered a subscription, then you're definitely getting the monthly minis. If you just did a one-time purchase, then you won't be. So that's where I'm not sure. You have to check what you have by going to your account. All right, so that was the rub-on. Is the 6x6 stamp part of the kit? Yes, it is, Lee. Everything I'm showing you right now is part of the kit. I'm only showing you the kit, and I'll go through everything in just a second, one more time. So that was the transfer, and there's more. So the next thing, where did it go? It fell on the floor. Is a pack of papers. So you get 6, 2 of each color, of these colored vellum. So this is the green. Look at how pretty that is. I love that green color. 2 of the purple. Very, very soft and pretty. And 2 of the blue. So you get these 6 vellum sheets. They are 5.5 by 8.5. And then, I don't have this, so you have to use your imagination. There's also 2, actually 4 sheets, because there's 2 of each. There is a white, they're holographic papers. So you have 4 holographic papers, 2 of each style. One is called White Rainbow and one is called White Lava. They look amazing. I really wish I had them, but I don't. And I just have the vellum, but that's included too. Okay, so let's go through everything. So 4 holographic papers, 2 of each. So 2 of each style, 2 sheets of each style. There we go. These 6 vellum sheets, colored vellum, so pretty. The 2 sheets of this maps transfers. Let's see if we can lay everything out here. There we go. the awesome Sandcastle fancy die, that incredible Rocks cling, which I'm going to put this on top so you can kind of remember what it looks like. So good. The Reactive ink pad. There isn't enough room. And then lastly is that, well, two things really, is that amazing 6x8 Victorian Seaside stamp set. Tuck that in here with the 22 coordinating dies. So all of this is in the July. There, I can't show everything. My head's in the way, but all of this is included in the July card kit of the month. The only thing it's missing here are those 4 holographic papers. So a lot of stuff, a really jam-packed kit. I can't wait for you guys to see all the amazing cards tomorrow. Rachel's already shared 2 of her cards, and they're so good. It is the happiest, Rachel. I know, I feel bad because I know I have this, and I know not everybody on the creative team has it, but I did have to like really pull some strings to get it, but we have it and it looks so good. All right, let's pop over here. All right, does anybody have any questions? I'm gonna remove, let's switch around. There we go. It's gonna be a great one. And again, this is only the kit. There's gonna be the cling, the clear die, the clear stamps and dies, the layering stencils, and the, what am I missing? Fancy die. Those 4 other subscriptions are coming out tomorrow, in addition to the card kit, which I just showed you. And then in addition to that, we have extras coming out tomorrow too. That's a lot of stuff. It is a lot of stuff. There is no better subscription like value for dollar or bang for your buck. That's how I can say it. Than the Hero Arts card kits. I mean, there's just nothing else out there that's, you get as much stuff. So your dollar really goes far. Like they're the best. For value, they're the best. And you get those gorgeous envelopes. Oh, the Vellum? I'm not sure which envelopes. Can you say that again? Which one, Pamela? What was I talking about? I can't remember. The brown ones. The brown envelopes that holds the dies. Do they come with that? I don't always get the kit, so like I don't know exactly how they come. Okay. Maybe. That one I don't know. They hold the extras. Oh, they do? Okay. Everything I get is like pre-release, so it's not all nice. Yes, the package it comes. Oh, okay, great. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, great. So I guess the extras come in like a brown envelope. Okay, cool. Yeah, mine don't. Mine don't. But I received mine in a box. Yeah, the card kit comes in a box. That I do know. That one I do know. And it has like, it's all packaged up with the tissue paper. But oh, yeah. Feels like Christmas. Yes. All right. Thank you guys so much for kind of hanging out with me and creating those 2 cards with the June kit, and then of course staying around for our sneak peek, really got to see the whole thing, of the July card kit of the month. Again, this releases tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific time, which is 3 hours difference. 1? Can it be that late? 11? 10 to 11, 11, 12, 12 to 1. 1 Eastern. Wow, seems late. Okay. But this is all releasing tomorrow. Be sure to check out our blog hop because there's giveaways there, plus all the inspiration. Like I said, the creative team knocked it out of the park. Rachel already shared cards, so you can check out hers on the blog right now. They are amazing. She does wonders with this stamp set. She's amazing. And well, what else? I'm getting confused. Rachel made a lot of cards. So I'm getting a little confused. Okay. Oh, good. I'm glad they turned out good for you. I'm glad you did them differently. Please always feel free to do whatever you're feeling, because I love seeing how people do it a little bit differently. That is so exciting for me to see how they make it their own. So it's just kind of like a starting off point, you know, to kind of get you going. All right, so I will see you guys. Oh, and this Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific, so 7 p.m. Eastern, I will do a spotlight of the entire release. So I go over everything, the card kit, but all of those subscriptions and all of the extras. I'll go over everything. So that's Tuesday. Check that out. So a lot of things happening in the next couple of days, and I can't wait for you guys to see it. It's a really great release. Thank you so much for spending some time with me this Sunday, and I will see you guys hopefully on Tuesday. Bye, everyone.